Never again.
Never again.
Never again.
Anti-Semitism is something that I've grappled with trying to define.
In my opinion, it's a deliberate and direct action against someone that has of the Jewish faith. To me, anti-Semitism is just any direct incident where someone of the Jewish faith feels like they're not comfortable.
Anti-Semitism is discrimination against someone solely for being Jewish.
A rational and/or irrational hate for the Jewish people.
2 years ago, I believe, there were some anti-Semitic comments written in Freedom Square. Maybe it wasn't a personal attack, but it was kind of an attack against Jews as a whole, and since I'm a part of that population, I felt offended by it.
My synagogue was trashed and left a lot of anti-Semitic remarks on it.
I was driving to school one morning, and as I was passing it, I noticed a bunch of swastikas and slander just spray painted onto our synagogue. And there were a bunch of little kids that were walking into our synagogue that morning for their morning daycare and stuff.
So it made me feel really uncomfortable and unsafe in my own neighborhood, a place where I grew up. So it was definitely a scary experience for me.
Having to see that and seeing what our community did in response, to me was very moving actually. Our whole community, no matter whose faith it was, came together in support of our local synagogue.
I'm really glad that Towson is addressing the bomb threats and the cemetery desecration, because I remember a couple weeks ago when I saw that it was scary, because I grew up going to JCC. I went to camp JCC. The synagogue, the cemetery that was desecrated was actually my great uncle's. I have family in that cemetery. Thankfully they weren't damaged, but it was close to home, and I was like, this is scary.
I think that it's really important that any university that students are at, they feel comfortable and that the university is going to support them no matter what they believe in and what they support. So I'm just really grateful.
As a Jewish student here, I obviously was very concerned about all the bomb threats that were being called into Jewish facilities across the country, especially because 2 JCCs right here in Baltimore County were targeted to these bomb threats. And I was like, you know what, I'm an SGA, this organization that's there for the students, and I was like, I'm gonna write a resolution and just educating people on what is going on and why anti-Semitism and all kinds of hate in general are not accepted here at Towson. So I talked about it at the General Assembly. I asked Noam Bento, the executive director of Towson University, Hillel, to come speak on behalf of it as well, and the Senate voted unanimously to pass it. And that was just really great. I knew that my friends and my coworkers at SGA, they were all really supportive of me, and it just showed how Towson University also cares so much about the Jewish community here, and how they show their support and solidarity towards the Jewish community.
I'm really glad that SGA has created that and wants to publicly bring awareness to the bomb threats that are occurring at various Jewish communities around the country. I think it's really important because surprisingly not a lot of people know about it. And so just to publicly say that they support the Jewish community and they're here for them, it means a lot to me. So I'm really happy about that.
Educate yourselves.
Some things that Towson students can do is really embrace their faith more. I think showing people that we're proud of our Jewish identity and that we're not trying to hide or that we're scared of anyone who's trying to impose on us.
I think that students who can experience multiple cultures, multiple backgrounds, multiple religions in order to really become more culturally aware.
I mean, I know here at Towson we have Hillel, we have Chabad, we have so many Jewish students on campus, Jewish organizations on campus, and there's so much that you can learn.
It's more just don't be a bystander. That's the big thing I've always learned, no matter what racial issue it is. If you see something that really shouldn't be happening, whether it's towards Jews like myself, if it's an anti-Semitic action, or if it's towards another race, it's just a matter of fact of just don't stand there and let it happen. Just speak up, be the person that that person should be and not saying that action. And maybe just educate your friends. It just comes down to everyone being in a welcoming community and no one taking for granted the people they have around them.
My name is Bria Johnson, and I currently serve as the Director of Diversity Outreach and Inclusion. And I'm here to tell you that if you have experienced the hate and bias incident, witnessed it, or heard of it, I strongly encourage you to click on the link below and fill out a hate and bias report form. Someone will respond to you in 5 business days. If it is an immediate emergency, I encourage you to call TUPD so that you can get an immediate response. Remember that they have 5 business days to respond to you. If you need help in that process, I encourage you to reach out to the Center for Student Diversity or the Counseling Center, or you can reach out to myself and I'll help you along with the process.